Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of Schmidt Lavelle. My name is Tom Lavelle, and as always, I'm accompanied by Mr. Timothy Schmidt.
Hey, hey.
Heyo. We got a great episode lined up for you this week, but before we get to that, we just want to say thank you to all the followers, the subscribers, the people that take time out of their days to listen to our show and the stuff we're putting out. We hope you enjoy it. We're going to keep on putting it out, and if you like what we're doing, like we said, give us that like, give us a follow, a subscribe, a share one of our videos. Maybe
Hit the like. Isn't this usually where the like button is?
yeah, right
Right.
there, right here, right there, right there. Hit the when this freezes and there's that share option, hit that too. Tell your friends, tell your family, tell everyone. A lot of really popular videos this week, and a lot of fun. Everyone has been in reaching out to us. We're going to be publishing our full list for people to debate the video games this week. That'll be coming out tomorrow, so people can see it in print if you haven't heard it on the show, and probably yell at us for not having Zelda in there. I don't know.
I think so. I really think so. I think you should have put out the list a little earlier, but I mean, you're holding on to dear life to that thing, like because I think you're nervous about what's going to happen, the
The
backlash.
backlash.
Yeah, because you snuck in your stupid little FIFA soccer in there.
I honestly, I forgot. I wish I would have put it out yesterday because, just the hustle and bustle of the weekend and running around and doing stuff. I was like,
Yeah,
damn.
there was plenty of stuff to do. It was pouring rain for 4 days. It was a monsoon. I'm sure you did a ton of stuff, Tom. All the games are canceled. You weren't coaching anybody. Shut up. You had plenty of time to do it. You didn't do it.
Like I said, I forgot, and I wish I would have put it out, but it will be coming out actually before this episode airs. So if you haven't seen it, go take a look at our IG and give us an idea of what you think about the list. I want to talk about something real quick. One of our favorite listeners of the show, great guy, Timmy's old friend, Mr. Stiff. He did leave some comments about the
Spit it out.
Wu-Tang Clan and Mortal Kombat. First of all, he said, Happy born day, Nikki. He says, I didn't even think of Super Nintendo, Street Fighter, and 007 were too legit to quit. Nothing was better than playing Mortal Kombat with the mystery chess boxing in the mystery of chess boxing in the background.
Yeah.
Jimmy, that does sound pretty awesome.
Do you know what that is?
I'm assuming that's a Wu-Tang album.
Yes.
Okay. I was never, you know what? I've
It's
never,
a song. It's a song. It's a
is
song.
this, I was never like huge into Wu-Tang. I never really, that wasn't like my thing, I guess. I don't know. Is that sacrilegious? Am I?
No, I mean you just missed. I mean, a lot of people grew up. Yeah, we're the same age almost, Tom, and it's very part of my childhood growing up. Wu
Right.
Tang was in the radio for pretty much the mid to late '90s, Tom.
Yeah, I remember like when the Killer Bees album came out, right? And some kid, his parents let him stay home from school to go get it. And then he had like gotten it first, and it was like a big thing. And I remember thinking like, okay, this is gonna be awesome. And then I listened to it and I was like, I mean, I don't really like it. I don't know. I don't think it's that great.
Well, the first album was the best. It was Enter the Wu Tang, and that was pretty much like the greatest hits album. And then they came out with the double album, which was what I think you're talking about, which had like Reunited on it, the song Triumph, which was like a big
Triumph.
hit.
That's
Yeah.
it.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was a big hit, but I never thought that was that great. I don't know.
Well, you're not really a good judge of music.
I guess not. Of course, I will say if I did play that at my house, my dad would have probably kicked the shit out of me for playing Wu-Tang. Like, what is this? Every weekend we were listening to Frank Sinatra Sundays, so I didn't
Oh yeah, well, my mom she would call it rap crap, and she would hide the CDs underneath her bed. I used to get the CDs from the wall, if you remember
oh yeah.
that little outlet, and they had like the lifetime guarantee sticker on it, and then we would put it right over like the parental advisory sign, so like my mom couldn't see that it was had bad language on it.
Explicit lyrics or something
And
like
then
that.
she obviously heard it through the actual radio, so that was kind of pointless.
Well, and I always thought Wu-Tang was cool. I just was never like in the club, and I wasn't in the gang, I guess. I didn't know the lyrics. So
Yeah,
maybe if I learned them, I'd like it a little bit better.
yeah. The song uh, "Wu-Tang Clan Ain't Nothing to Fuck With"
Yeah.
didn't really go over well in the Schmidt household.
I guess not. That
Uh,
doesn't sound like something that would be. I remember when the Eminem album came out in like the Marshall Mathers LP, and we went and bought it, and my dad, we were driving somewhere, he's like, "Oh, what's this thing? Let's turn it on. We're all gonna listen to this Eminem album, right?" And so there's the one part where Eminem, I guess, there was a skit on there where they're making fun of the Insane Clown Posse. Do you remember that, Tim?
I do not remember that. No.
Very homoerotic, very about, I
Mm,
guess, them banging each other or something like that.
right
And
up my alley.
I knew, no pun intended, and I knew that it was coming up. And so there was a button to skip it, and it was coming up, and I hit it to like, we're skipping this part. I'm not sitting in the car. We've listened to enough. I don't need to hear this with my dad sitting right there. What was that? What did you? And he's like, I just remember the look on his face, like, are you really listening to this crap?
What the hell is this?
Yeah, yeah. All right, Timmy. So let's move on. Um, you were at the bar today, and you brought something up, your health, your overall health, and how maybe us having this show and me being a bartender at a local watering hole is not
Not
necessarily the
con-
best thing for you.
it's not conducive to a healthy style of living, Tom. We do this show, and there's a lot of material that we like to cover, and obviously we do our rundown, but brainstorming is really something that is done kind of on a whim, and you start to come up with ideas and things of that nature. And if something pops in my head, it's easy. Like if I'm driving around and I'm getting finished work, a little early, and I'm driving home, your work establishment is legitimately on the route home. So I'm like, oh, you know what? Tom's working till 6. I'll pop in, and we'll have a little brainstorm session. But the problem is that when you sit down at a bar and do a brainstorming session, at least a couple beers.
Yeah, at
And
least, right? And then you see
yeah,
someone now that we've been doing this show for several months now, and you come in and you see oh, there's Tim. Get Tim a
yeah,
drink on me, or you see the
uh,
HJB and he says, that one's on. Next thing you know, 2 turns into 3, turns into 4, and
yeah. So, the show is. I mean, we haven't really taken off yet, but I mean, we've got a lot of good material going, and it's been nice. But I mean, I think you need to start working at. Maybe if you started working at a gym, that would be even like just quit and start working at Planet Fitness.
yeah.
Like,
Oh, I'm gonna say, Tim, why
hey,
haven't you stopped in?
like that would be just such an easier brainstorming session. Plus, we'd be getting healthier. I think it would be better for both of us now.
I got an idea. What say you? Maybe we join a pickleball league, right? And
Yeah, here we go.
by the way, put out a video today. We have been working out, Tim. It's been I guess we're on week 2. Gotten several workouts. You send me a pic of you all sweaty, just done a workout, saying I'm going to kick your ass or something like that. And so maybe that's helped. We've been trying to get a little bit healthier, but I put it out there. I was working out today, and that I'm cold blooded, Timmy, and I'm
Well,
coming
I
for you.
listen. Yeah, you are. It was a solid video today. But like today, I had to stop by and like I'm getting ready for I have two weddings this weekend, Tom, and I'm like really trying to piece together some clothes for these two weddings. And the problem is that I've gone through all my suits over the years, and there's only one left that fits me right now.
Oh man.
And I don't. My job does not really require me to wear any dress clothes. I have a uniform that I wear every so often, and I wear golf shirts for the most part. When I go to work. So I haven't really kept up with the wardrobe. We've talked about this before on the show, but now we're getting into like the really like look suits and nice dress wear, right? To go to a nice event, and I'm down to one suit that fits, and I'm sitting there. I go to Kohl's today, Tom, to get a nice little button down shirt, and yeah, I go over to the double XLs and I start like trying them on in the fitting room, and yeah, they don't fit ever at all. Like not even close. I mean, the buttons are busting out. I can't even put that thing on. So I'm like, shit, there's got to be like triple X's, and then uh yeah, there's none of those. There's a section though in Kohl's that is labeled big and tall, and that is now the section that I am shopping in.
Oh no. Timmy, this is something that I've thought about before. We are getting older, right? And like you think about even stuff that you're like, I remember when I used to have these, or these Oreos used to be bigger, or like, you get something and you're like, they always used to be bigger. There used to be more in this thing and they've cut it. Does it feel are we just getting bigger or are the
No, I
clothes
mean,
getting smaller?
no, I'm certainly getting bigger. I mean, dude, the tag on this shirt, the actual shirt, doesn't even say 2XL now. The shirt that I bought is 2XB, which I'm assuming is extra big. I mean, it's like a slap in the face here, Tom. I mean, look, I've got to get it together here, dude. Like it's got to stop at some point. Like I got to go the opposite way here.
Yeah. How are you going to do that?
I guess pickleball.
Timmy, you've reached a new level of clothing, the big and tall section, I guess the name though is flattering. It's big and tall, you know what I mean? It's not like I don't
Like
know.
extra fat and
Yeah.
sloppy.
Yeah, what if big and tall was yeah, fat and sloppy.
Like
I'm shopping in the fat and sloppy section now.
it should just be like it's just renamed people that don't give a shit anymore.
It's almost
Oh,
over.
oh, that's me right there. Yeah. Look at
What a
this.
section.
Look at this shirt.
Fits perfect.
Doesn't even have
Ah,
buttons on it.
you're in the store, you see a clerk, and you're like trying them on. You're struggling with like different shirts, and they're like, "Hey, excuse me, sir. I think I know. We have a section over here that's perfect for you." Well, what is it? What section's that? It's called big and disgusting.
it's it's perfect for you. It's called the people that don't give a shit anymore. That's for you over there. Hey, Carla, can you show this guy? He's shopping in a totally wrong spot. He's
Yeah.
got to get over. You know where? Look at him. You know where he belongs.
We have a guy over here that needs to be going into the section that people don't give a shit anymore. And show him the way.
We got another big guy trying to fit into a double XL. What a loser.
Sir, no, that double XL, it's too small for you. Over here is where, yeah, you need an XB.
That section's for people that actually work out once a week. Cool.
All right, Timmy. So you've moved on to the big and tall section. We're going to move on to our fantasy update. Tim, I would say our fantasy squads, we're both doing pretty well in the league. I mean, one of us happens to be in first place. Who's in first place? Let me look. Oh wait. Oh my God, that's me. I'm in first place.
Are you
Tim,
sure? Did
first
you?
place overall. Yeah, how about my overbite? That's me. You named, yeah, that's the team you
That
need.
is you. Hmm.
And in third place, but also the highest scoring team in the league is one big belly, small dick, Timothy
Yeah.
Schmidt. Tim,
And I'm racking the points up, and I did it with all subs last week.
right.
And look, you all are in big trouble because I am starting to get players healthy, and it's going to get ugly. Alvin Kamara is back from suspension. I got Jonathan Taylor coming off of his little injury. He's back after week 4, I believe. And those point totals are just going to start climbing, baby.
Right. So you've got Keenan Allen, who's been a superstar for you. Christian McCaffrey, it must have been nice to have the third pick. Alvin Kamara coming back off. How do you think Kamara will be as productive as he was, or are we thinking that's gonna be something that keeps going?
I mean, he's always been a pretty productive back. I don't see why not. I'm not, obviously I drafted him for a reason. I hope the hell he is.
Yeah.
But it would be a nice little steal. Yeah, it's look, fantasy, it's totally luck, dude. It's all bullshit. I mean, like all these draft strategies. I can't believe how much money's made off of this shit. But um, guys can get injured, and all the draft analysis that you do before the season doesn't mean
Mean
shit when that
anything.
happens. It's
Yeah.
crazy. Like, so whatever. It's just the luck of the draw, and usually the best the players that stay the most healthy usually win.
So we were saying our matchup is coming up. It's not this weekend, but it'll be the next weekend, week 5, Tim versus Tom. And to refresh the memory of the listeners, Timmy and I have a bet for the overall season. Whomever has the best record, the other person will then be forced to caddy at a course, I guess, of the winner's choosing. When we choose a course, it's got to be, I guess, fairly walkable. You know, I don't know. We'll
You
see.
do it at Walnut Lane, dude.
Ooh, the lane, the nut, that might be good. But so
It's
that will
very hilly over there. A lot of hills.
it is be an interesting course to walk. So Tim, we have talked about and has been brought up in the fantasy leagues group chat that we would do some sort of feats of I don't know, like we were gonna run the gauntlet in games to figure out a stipulation. Whoever wins then gets to choose a player that must be sat for the other team and is not allowed to play in the league. So we want to be doing that video shortly because we're going to be playing next week and give the other person time to have their player sat. When do you think whoever wins, when will they have to say this is a player I want you to sit? Will it be by Thursday, or will it be like when do you think is
No,
the
I
time?
think yeah, I would say it has to start before it has to be selected before the start of the games. So Thursday, obviously Thursday night football, so you have to decide then before
Okay.
Thursday night football.
Before Thursday night football. Okay. So Timmy, this was the thing we were going to try to do, and let me run it by you and you tell me if you think this is fair and we can discuss. So we'll start off with a chug. The thing will start with chugging a beer. It was suggested to chug a twisted tea and call it a tee off, like we're teeing off on the event. So you chug a
Oh,
twisted tea, and then right after, as soon as you're done chugging the tea, you go to a flip cup and you flip a cup. As soon as you flip that cup, you move to the dartboard where you have to shoot a bullseye. As soon as you shoot a bullseye, you go to a bago board where you have to throw a bag in the hole. After you throw a bag in the hole, you take a shot, then have to take a quarter and sink it into the shot glass, via quarters. After that, you go to a beer pong table, and the final thing would be to make the last cup. There will be one cup there. As soon as you sink the ball in the cup, you have finished, and the first one to do that has won. Does that sound like a fair gauntlet of games, or is that unfair? I mean, I do work at a bar. We have dart leagues. We have bago leagues. We have, you know, I'm sure we've both played a fair amount of flip cup.
Could be, yeah. No. I like that. I like that a lot. Actually, it's more of an obstacle course, a bar obstacle course, if you will. It's a recreational decathlon. It's
Yes.
yeah, it's interesting. I like this. We could actually make this a real deal Holyfield type of a thing. I think we could make this like a whole sport. We could build branding off of this, Tom. This could be huge.
I love it. All right, so we're gonna have to set this up within probably the next week. Figure out a day. This is when we're gonna do it. Go in there, have someone film it, and post it for everyone to see, and then the results. And then on next week's show, reveal who will be sat and who won and who's gonna have to sit. Maybe the best player on their team. But it's interesting because you could sit someone and you never know in fantasy football. Someone might show up one week and might show up another or whatever. And it'll be interesting to see how you figure that out after I tell you who to sit. All
Mm.
right. So I got to go out this week for the Monday Night Football game. A lot of talk has been how I never get to go out. I decided I'm going to go out Monday night, and I had a plan laid out. We were going to run out to a bar. We were going to watch the first half. As soon as that first half was over, run to the next bar and watch the second half without missing a play. And you were out on that, Timmy. And can you tell the listeners why? It's because I guess you had a prediction that something would happen.
No. Let's get this straight here. So
Okay, let's get it
first,
straight.
yeah, let's get it. So you originally said, "Hey, Monday night, I'm able to do something for the game." He said, "Do you want to watch the game together?" And I said, "Yeah, I'd be down for that, possibly." Like, I didn't give you an answer, but I was like, "Yeah, that seems okay." You know, like Tom wants to be a student of the game. He wants to learn maybe a little bit more about football since he's not really been an athlete his entire life and really doesn't understand, what really goes on the field. But, just figured like maybe we watch the game together and, be in the confines of my house or your house, and we'd be able to watch the game as men and just enjoy a nice football game on a Monday night. And then, we go to the brainstorm session yesterday, and you got this whole plan laid out where you're going to a bar, you're going to a local establishment, which was FWAT up the street from, up in Conshohocken, and then you're going to leave at halftime and go to another bar. And like, dude, this is, first of all, I don't like to watch the game at the bar. Like, it's just too much noise, too much distraction. I need to get like, when I watch the Eagles, dude, I need to be dialed in. I need to be dialed in on the game. I like to hear the analysis a little bit. I have the DVR so I can rewind plays if I see something and I want to kind of just double check and see exactly what happened with the play. You got this whole like social setting going on. Like, I need to be around Eagles fans like that I know, that I trust, that are like looking at the game the way I look at the game. I don't need to be like bothered by somebody that's like, what's that guy doing with the ball? What's he doing? What is going on? Why did they snap the ball? Like, I don't need all that outside interference. You, for some reason, have to be around that. I don't get it. I don't do it. It's just, I'm out on that. I don't need that whole situation. And then plus, like, watch the first half and then drive to another bar for the second half. I said, there's no way that's happening, Tom. I told you right to your face, said something's going to happen where either the bartender isn't going to, when you're trying to cash out at halftime, bartender's probably going to be a little busy and he's not going to get to you in time. And then someone's going to say, oh, let's grab another beer. And the guy down the other side of the bar grabs another beer. And then, then you're sitting there, you're like, should I just get another beer? And then all of a sudden everyone stays at the same bar. It's ridiculous to even think that you were going to do 2 bars, especially as far away they were from each other. It was just it was crazy. And you know what? My prediction came true, Tom.
It did.
You sat there at the same bar for the entire game.
I
You
did.
didn't leave at halftime. You didn't execute your plan. It's just it's a total rookie thing to do, especially if you're a fair weather fan like yourself. You're not even a real Eagles fan.
I called an audible, Tim. You do know what an audible is, right? Are you familiar with the term audible? The plan was to do something. The time was coming. I knew we had to get out of there. And I said, hey, now's the time. If we're going to another bar, we got to close out. And then half the people were, okay, let's close out. And half the people were like, I don't feel like going anywhere else.
Yep.
And you know what? To be honest, I didn't really feel like going anywhere either. Did I know it beforehand? No. Did you say it? Yes. Now, there was also an argument of whether or not I would have made it back to the other bar in time to watch the second half, which I still believe I would have done had the plan been executed and the audible not been called. But overall, a fun experience, a good place to watch the game. I was lucky enough to have the guy sitting next to me, very much like yourself, into the X's and O's. He was using terms that I would never throw around. I forget exactly what they were, but you could tell, okay, this guy,
Quarterback,
he
running
played,
back,
yeah,
wide receiver.
he played some sort of football on that. No, you know what? He knew this, he knew the penalty signals too. You know what I mean? Like there was a play where there was an ineligible man downfield, and he's like, that's an ineligible man downfield. And it wasn't the like, it wasn't the actual signal. He knew like kind of the timing of the flag. You know how you get used to where the flag is thrown and when it is thrown, and you know what penalty it's going to be before they actually call it.
Yeah, yeah. Mm-hmm.
He was aware of the ineligible man downfield, and I was
How
like, oh,
about that? Look at this
this
guy,
guy,
huh?
this guy knows. All right, he knows. And so I did think that call was a bit on that. I don't know how far down the field he was on that one when they made that call. All right, Tim. So you do say you stop into the bar for these rundowns, and you got to witness something that was pretty. I mean, it was
Well,
romantic.
yeah, no, it's
It
not.
was it was it was something when there's love in the air
It's
and you feel love for someone, and to show your affection specifically in public at a local bar where it's 1 p.m. There's 6 other people there.
I think it was like 2:30, and like we're talking about the show, and right behind you, there's 2 people just making out, like they're like necking and all the whole thing, the whole kit and caboodle. It's like, what are we doing here on a Tuesday?
It was to the point at one point I'm like, they were sitting very close at the bar, these two. And I'm like, one, I thought, okay, are these two actually together? This seemed like to me like a cheating situation going on here. I don't know these people from anything. The one guy kind of looked familiar, but it almost looked like they were meeting at a rendezvous. You know what I mean? And so
Yeah,
they
like
were
a
sitting, and I couldn't see the hands, and I'm like, what's going on behind this bar? I don't want any, touchy feely, grabby, tabby. You know what I mean? And then other people were in there. And Tim, as far as PDAs, public displays of affection, I'm going to use a term for you. I'm out. I don't like it. I don't think it's disgusting. Go like the room. Go get a room. You know what I mean? Is the saying? It's like, just get out of here. Go somewhere else. If you gotta be like, good for you, don't do it here. 2 o'clock at Graham's Pub on a fucking Tuesday.
yeah, I don't know where it just doesn't make much sense. I mean, and it's not like Graham's is the most intimate setting. It's like there ain't no candles lit around that place. There's
Yeah,
no,
there's a
yeah,
smell of old beer in the air if you're lucky.
yes, yeah, like I like cigarette smoke is just constantly floating around that joint. Like
Yeah, you
it's
got the
just
regulars just saying off the wall shit sometimes.
yeah, yeah. Yeah, I'm not a PDA guy. kiss every once in a while out in public, if you're feeling in the mood is, okay. And I'm not a hand holder, I don't like that shit. It's
Me
just,
either.
there's a time and place for it, right? That's the reason why you have a bedroom,
Yeah.
get, do that. Some people are a little bit, exhibitionists, maybe they like to do the dirty outside, and, more power to them if they feel like doing that. But I mean, it's just strange, man. It's
And
not the
I can certainly understand when you're first getting into the relationship, things can get hot and heavy and stuff like that. But like,
just to our viewers, this is like the Seinfeld. If anyone Seinfeld fans out there, it was like the Schmoopy episode where Jerry and his girlfriend are in the booth together and they're sitting next to each other. They're calling each other Schmoopy, Schmoopy, and they're like, it's like they're petting each other and kissing each other. And
yeah,
it's just like it's just awkward for everyone else too. Like they
yeah,
didn't have a problem doing it in front of everyone, and it's like everyone's looking, what the fuck is going on with these two?
yeah. And to your point, Tim, holding hands in public, that's like, no. We got a couple that comes in, they're hand holders. They get out of their car, you see it, they hold hands and they walk in together, and it's like, all right, what are you trying to do here? What are you
Tom,
trying to it's more for show.
I went to a wedding one time, and there was a couple sitting at our table, and they held hands the entire wedding, dude, through dinner. Like it was ridiculous. It felt like a joke to me. I felt like there was like some sort of challenge, or there was the camera somewhere around. they they literally grabbed each other's hands, and the one was eating dinner with her left hand with the fork, and the guy was eating the dinner with his right hand with the fork, and they held hands right in the middle. It was the craziest thing I've ever seen in my life.
How do you eat? Don't you have to cut? Like you need two hands at some point.
Yeah, well, he was grabbing the knife and then would reach over and
Shut up, you're such a liar. But we're out on holding hands in public. Am I like it's I don't know, like if
I'm
you're
being
on a beach and like it's an anniversary or something like that, I could see like you're in a nice area, but Graham's Pub on at 2 o'clock on a Tuesday?
I'm thinking, so like, look, I would be acceptable of like a pinky, like, yeah, like on the beach, yeah, like, the one finger out, and like maybe that. I don't know, dude. Like,
What?
that.
A pinky holding the
Yeah.
okay. Any hand holding. No, not allowed.
Well, no, I mean, what does that does that qualify as a handhold? Like if
Part of
one,
the hand and you're holding it.
eh,
That's worse. I think it's worse.
I'm just trying to give the hand holders out there some life. Okay, they got to get some love out there.
I
That's what
can
they're all
see
about.
it if you like. Who are these? Why are they hand holders? The hand holders out there. I don't get it.
I did. If someone's holding my hand, I start sweating. I'm like, oh, come on, man. Like, I need some space here.
Yeah, yeah. What are you doing? What was that? Like what? Holding my hand.
Uh,
I can't do it. I'm out on the hand holding, Tim.
your hands get all clammy and shit. You're all sweating all
Yeah.
over the place.
Yeah, right.
I
Like,
got calluses on my hand. And shit. Who wants to hold my hand?
yeah, right. Yeah. I think
Disgusting.
something's wrong with them. If they want to hold my hand, I'm like, you want to hold this? You want to
Look
hold
at these.
that?
Look at these.
Put them away.
Look at these mitts. Yeah.
Oh, Jesus. Tim,
Uh,
speaking of PDAs and disgusting people, what about Taylor Swift and Travis Kelce? She certainly made it public about her affection for one tight end on the Kansas City Chiefs. There's been a lot of people talk there. Look, there's a
and
bunch
he's got a tight end. I'll tell you that.
handsome fella. There's no denying that.
Great stash.
Seems a bit dopey to me. You know what I mean? Like very bro-ish, but I think life has kind of ironically doesn't like. I feel like he's a fairly humble guy. You know what I mean? Like I feel like he's gone through some stuff and had some things that were upsetting, like in college in the Kelce documentary when he got busted for the drug test, and then kind of had to work his way back. And it just seemed very gracious. That it's a tough situation when you are playing your brother in a Super Bowl, and obviously one of the guys was going to have to lose, and that's got to be a tough situation to handle. Regardless, a lot of people out there are haters of Miss Taylor Swift, right? There's a lot of haters out there. And I've been hearing all week, I'm so sick of seeing these freaking two on the TV. And it's been a couple days. It doesn't really bother me that much. Does it? Are
I
you one of those?
Yeah, because I'm a football purist,
Oh, here
and
we
as
go.
a
I
football
love the
purist,
ambiance. I love the aesthetic of it, Timmy. You're a purist. I'm an aesthetic guy.
yeah, you like all the bells and whistles. You're like, hey, can we get a halftime show here or what?
Can we cut to Carrie Underwood?
Oh, who won that game anyway? That's what you are. Right? You don't even know who wins the game at
I
the end.
will
You
say
just
this, Timmy. A lot of people will talk about it, and I've got two sons, right? And there's a lot of dads out there that say, man, if I had a dream, one day my kid, he's going to grow up and he's going to be a major league baseball player. I look at my kid and I say, one day that might be the next Philly fanatic right there. I have said, but sorry, back to Taylor Swift. Are you out on this whole Swift,
I
Kelce?
just I just hate that like it's infiltrated pro football. Like as bad as it's been with like the penalties and all the other bullshit that's been going on, like the new rule changes and like now like the leading story on Sports Center, and I don't even watch Sports Center anymore, but like I mean I see all the highlights from all the games, and like the number one leading story is Taylor Swift in a freaking in the Kelce box. It's like, come on, man. Like there's football going on this weekend, right? Who gives a shit about her, up in the box? And by the way, she's wearing all sorts of Chief shit. Supposedly she's an Eagles fan, which makes me question her fandom. So I mean, if she wants
We've
to be a Kansas
discussed
City,
this previously on the show. You said she was a fraud.
yeah, I'm out on Swift. I didn't even realize she's this big of a deal.
She's a big deal, dude. She's a megastar. I mean, there's no denying it. And I'm not like in on it. You know what I mean? My wife is a Taylor Swift fanatic. Okay. And all her girlfriends, and apparently every other chick in the history of the world, is a Taylor Swift fanatic. She's sold out. They're talking about her tour is bigger than Michael Jackson in his prime. I mean, she's got so many number one hits. She just went out on this tour that was $1,000 a ticket to go see it. It's bigger than freaking WrestleMania. You know
No,
what I
we've
mean? It's
yeah, I mean,
crazy.
I real look after the whole concert debacle like this summer, I do realize how big of a star she is, right? Like with the ticket prices getting jacked up. But before that, like I didn't really, I knew a handful of her songs, and I know she like crosses over between country and pop, and she does, she hits both genres, which is probably why she has so many fans. But I mean, this is like crazy. Like I've seen videos of her like going to a wedding at some point. They shut down the entire island in like New Jersey
LBI.
somewhere.
Yeah, LBI.
Yeah, and that's pretty wild, man. And apparently, like she's sneaking out of freaking concert venues and popcorn boxes and shit like that. Like it's pretty nuts. So you think like, is this thing even going to last? Like these two, she's the most popular, person I guess in the world right now. She's the hottest thing going. The Kelce brothers are probably right behind her because they've had a ton of success over the course of like the last year. I think Mama Kelce is up there. She's like a top 5 trending person now on Twitter. Like she's crazy. But I just want it to be about football. Congrats for them too. That's it. I honestly, she doesn't even really do it for me, to
Well,
be
that's my
honest.
next question, Timmy. Here's the
Did I say
thing.
I said it honestly twice? I don't know why I said that, but God,
So, one, before I get to the main question, are these two using each other to boost their platform. Taylor Swift is obviously a megastar, but the popularity of Kelce, this is a whole new audience with the football crowd. The guys don't really know about it as much. There seems to be more of it going on, but the wives of all the guys watching football, and a lot of guys, obviously we all know who Taylor Swift is, but like they're fanatics, like these fans and stuff like that, the Swifties. This is a new market that she's trying to reach, so she can go to the Kelce brothers. Probably the two most popular athletes in the sport right now are the Kelce brothers. And on that flip side, Kelce, whose popularity's risen quite a bunch in the last year or two, can now date Taylor Swift, and now he's being like, are they using? Is that part of the appeal with each other? Hey, we can sell each other.
I mean, I don't look. I'm not on
Tell
that
me what's
level.
going on the insides, Timmy. You say you're a purist. I want to know. See, now this is what I cover at watching the football game, and you're the one that can give me the the ineligible man downfield.
Yeah, well, he might be the ineligible man downfield right now in this relationship because she's. I mean, it's a little nuts.
Will there be a song about him?
Oh yeah, absolutely. Apparently, she's that's all she does is write songs about her former boyfriends and shit like that. So yeah, it probably is going to happen.
I'm sure that one will touch down sooner or later.
My cousin is actually a celebrity, not a celebrity. I guess he is a celebrity. He's a celebrity barber, and he actually cuts Travis Kelce's hair all the time, which is pretty cool. Maybe we can get him on the show at some point.
Yeah, let's get some insider info, Mr. Barber. He probably set the whole thing up. All right, Tim, this is going to lead me to our big question. A lot of talk of it at the bar lately, and here we go. Taylor Swift. Is she hot? Is Taylor Swift hot? Now let's lay some, we're both going to agree Taylor Swift is very pretty, a beautiful woman, yada, yada, yada. Is she hot, though?
I'm saying I just think she's like the girl next door, man. Like, that's it. Like, she's the girl next door for me. And that does it for me, Like, I don't need a smoke show or anything like that. Like, I just need someone to appeal to me. I mean, I think she's very beautiful, but like the girl next door thing does it for me, but Taylor Swift does not do it for me.
Yeah. She's not hot to me either. She doesn't like, I guess, I don't know if it's, I don't know. It's just something about her. I just never really like for the definition of hot. I was trying to say to someone the other day, like, look, like a Paige Sporanic, she's hot. You know what I mean? Like, to me, like, I feel like if I were to look at like the Kardashians, I would think Kim Kardashian is hot and Kendall Jenner is beautiful, but she has like a different, more model look. It's just not where, I would say is hot, but beautiful. Not denying that, you know what I mean? But I don't feel like she's hot, She's no Travis Kelce.
Yeah, and I don't think, Tom, if they ever break up, her Travis Kelce, I don't think there's ever a chance for them
to get back together.
Yeah.
Oh God.
I think this is a one-time deal for good old Travis Kelce.
Do you think she said like, "Hey, you belong with me" to him? Like, maybe you like some, but I feel like you belong with me. You belong with me. All right, Timmy, let's move on.
Don't even know what that is. That's the only Taylor. I know my kids listen to Taylor Swift, but I don't really know a ton of their songs.
So she's got a lot of hits, and maybe I'll try to write a good old Travis Kelce song. It'll be my prediction of a Travis Kelce song. Maybe I'll try to put one together. Timmy, now let's get to the Eagles game. Let's get to Mr. X's and O's yourself. A lot going on this game. The Eagles are now 3-0. They defeat the Tampa Bay Buccaneers in Tampa. Takeaways from the game. Any notes, anything that you saw that you are happy about, worried about, whatever, hit us with it.
Now, the one thing that I will really point out is how well the defense played. And that's not something that we really expected to happen as early as it is right now. Yeah, you haven't really played the greatest quarterbacks. Look, Kirk Cousins is pretty good, but Kirk Cousins always falls apart towards the end of the games. You have Baker Mayfield, who started out the season pretty well, but he's turnover prone. But the defense is playing on a different level, and the that has everything to do with the defensive line. And their rotation is probably one of the best in probably football right now, and it's only going to get better. Jordan Davis up front, Jalen Carter. Jalen Carter, I mean, people keep on saying this. It's not just me. How he fell to the Eagles at pick 9 is criminal. The Eagles should be charged with robbery for that draft pick. The dude is just an absolute beast and an animal. I think Jalen Hargraves has the most hurries from the D tackle position with 16, and he played for the Eagles last year. You know who's in second place with 15? It's Jalen Carter.
Wow.
And it's incredible because you would have had to pay, Javon Hargraves that huge contract if you decided to keep him. Now you bring in Jalen Carter. He's on a rookie friendly deal, right? So you're getting basically the same production as you got from Javon Hargraves out of a rookie defensive tackle, and this kid's only going to get better. The one thing that I'm really disappointed in is the sacks. Really, we haven't seen Hassan Reddick get going yet, and Josh Sweat. He's been hit or miss, for the first part of the season. But the secondary has held up pretty decently. You saw a couple plays out of Sidney Brown. He's come in and played a little bit. We've seen a little bit of Nolan Smith, but it's just the defense has been really impressive. And look, the offense is starting to gel a little bit. They racked up a ton of yards, so over 450 yards again. The running game was on point. It's just the play calling has just been spotty, and you should have probably been up by at least two touchdowns in the first half, and play calling kind of shot you in the foot. You were running the ball successfully, and they got away from the run. I think DeAndre Swift had 6 carries in the first half for 38 yards. He was averaging 7 yards a carry, and it's like, when we got down into the red zone, they abandoned the run and they went throw, throw, throw. It's like, hey, just keep it simple, right? Just do what works, run the ball, and we'll be in a good spot. And they just get out of rhythm with that play calling. Look, it's just a matter of the new offensive coordinator figuring it out and finding a rhythm. And once you find that rhythm, you should be fine. But it just needs a little bit more time to gel. And I think this offense is going to be through the roof. And they're scoring more points than they did last year. They're on par with the same amount of rushing yards, passing yards. I know it doesn't seem like it, but I mean, everyone's eating right now, and the only person you got to get the ball a little bit more to is probably Dallas Goedert. He's only had like 10 catches for like 70 yards in the first 3 games, but that'll all gel.
Yeah. I've been super impressed on both lines. And that's where the games are won, on the line, the D line and the offensive line. And
In the
Carter
trenches, Tom, in the trenches. That's the terminology, baby.
in the trenches, and just impressive. The run stuffing yesterday was incredible. When Hurts threw the interception and they had the ball at the 1. And that to me is one where, hey, sometimes you're playing, every team has incredible athletes and incredible players. To me, that was one that sometimes the other guys are going to just go make an incredible play, and you just got to chalk it up and move on. And I think that's what it was. But I initially thought, man, they have the ball at the 1. We got a great chance to get a safety here. And next thing you know, first play in, we get a safety, tackle him for, looked like a 3-yard loss into the end zone. The lines look great. We're 3-0. Like you said, our turnovers, though, we've been turning the ball over more this year than we did last year. Fortunately, I feel like we've been getting a lot of turnovers early on.
Yep.
I guess a lot of negative talk on sports radio and, even on, the sports centers, the talk shows and stuff like that. People saying, are the Eagles for real? Is this a real deal? Yada, yada, yada. What is it? Is there room for concern here? Because this is the easier part of our schedule. Or is this something that is a Philadelphia like we just have in our heads, like the sky is falling no matter what? Is that something that we're always just gonna have, and it's something to just like realize that, hey, look, we're freaking out. We're 3-0 though. Offensively, we put up more points than we did last year. The defense is looking really solid. We're young, we're gelling, we're coming together. We got a lot of positives, and it seems like all anyone can do is focus on the negative. Is that just a Philadelphia thing, or?
Yeah, no, I think it's a little bit of both, where you get the panic that sets in because Jalen Hurts isn't playing, where he left off last year. And it's clear, it's evident that he's not at that level. He was playing, at the same level, if not better, than Patrick Mahomes, who's the best player in the league, right? And the Eagles fans see that and they say, man, that needs to be replicated, every time he goes out in the field. So the expectations are really high for this team, Tom. And when you don't see that happen, it doesn't come to fruition, fans start to panic and they say, oh no, we gave this guy this big contract. Like, is this the guy that we're getting, or is it the guy that, showed up from, the Super Bowl last year? Like, who is a quarterback? And that's, I think, where the panic starts to set in. And then people question, oh yeah, like the offense hasn't looked good. But like, here's the thing, in the NFL, dude, it's so hard to win. You're 3-0. You're one of 3 undefeated teams, right? And you've barely played average football, in my opinion. It doesn't get better than that. Like, there's other teams. I mean, look, the Cowboys just lost to the Cardinals. I mean, after the first 2 weeks, I thought that we were supposed to give them the Lombardi Trophy. I mean, they were
Yeah,
supposed to be
right.
the best team in the league. Like, we should have canceled the season, gave them the trophy, and sent everybody else home. There shouldn't have been an NFL season. But this is the NFL. It's hard to win games. It's hard to show up every single week. It's just the way
It's a
the league
long
runs.
season too. Who knows the
And
way things are going to play out, injury
and it's
wise and whatever.
yeah, and it's very similar. Like, these fans just, they want you to play hard, but yeah, I mean, anything that, it's like Murphy's Law. Anything that could go wrong will go wrong, right? And if you remember, Tom, we just we just got through a full season of the Phillies, and the same shit was going on with the Phillies right in the first part of the season. And what do we say? Look, relax. It'll be fine. We'll get to the playoffs. It's not like this roster's too good. Like, we're gonna be fine. And 2 seconds ago, they just clinched a playoff spot with a walk off. Like, they're going to be in the number 1 wild card. Like, this is what Philadelphia does. That we panic, and look, we had 2 teams that played for championships last year. It's hard to repeat that success, but we're on that same plateau right now. We're heading in that direction. So you just got to enjoy it. It's 3-0. We're in a good spot. We played average football. We beat 3 NFL teams. Let's keep moving forward. Let's get the next one. One game at a time, Tommy. One game at a time, baby.
Yeah, right. And let's not forget too, we beat the Patriots, who have arguably the greatest coach of all time and a very good defense. They just shut down the Jets offense, which is abysmal, but like their defense is solid. They almost beat the Dolphins, the Patriots. They were 1 drive away from beating the Dolphins, who everyone seems to be really scared of now after that 70-point run. 2, we beat the best wide receiver in the game in Justin Jefferson last week. We slowed them down enough and we made it happen. And then we went on the road in Tampa Bay and won a big time night game. So, like you said, Timmy, let's all pump the brakes. We're 3-0, and the league should be ashamed to let us be 3-0 after really being I guess at our floor. You know what I mean? We have a high floor of how we can play, but the ceiling is even like the top of this I think can be unbeatable. If we play our best game, I don't think there's anyone in the league that can beat us. Is that fair to
Yeah,
say?
I mean, I would say that the roster this year is better than it was last year. DeAndre Swift does that for you. Jalen Carter does that for you. Obviously, the loss of Javon Hargrave hurts, but I mean, you're getting contributions from guys that are a year older, that are getting better. Um, and it's just the offense in general. It's going to take time. You have two brand new coordinators, defensive and offensive, it's going to take time for them to figure it out. And they're winning right now without operating at full capacity, right?
Yep.
And it's going to get better. I'm telling you, it's going to get better. So,
All right. Timmy, I want to give a big shout out. We did just play the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, and it reminded me of one of my all-time favorite players that was not an Eagle. Powerhouse, incredible. Like, you don't see players like this anymore. Mr. Mike Alstott.
mhm.
Timmy, did you like watching? Like, Alstott seems to me like if he's someone that's right up your alley. You just love
Oh,
to watch him hit, the way he played, and just who he was as a player was incredible.
he was a monster. He went to Purdue. I remember watching him in college, and the dude was just a tank. And what was crazy about Mike Allstott was that for as big of a human being as he was, he had such incredible balance. And he wasn't your prototypical fullback back in the day was Daryl Johnson. If you remember Daryl Johnson, he played for the Cowboys.
Moose.
He just cleared the pass. He would just run it like old school NFL offenses used to run a lot of I and pro set, which is a different type of formation. And the fullback was the lead blocker in a lot of these run plays. And you would essentially run off tackle. The fullback would lead into the hole, right, and clear a path for the running back behind him. So like Emmett Smith just ran off of Moose. And Allstott was that, but he also was featured as a tailback in that offense a ton, that could carry the ball 15, 20 times a game. Could get you obviously the tough yardage, but also could break a run here and there and had incredible speed. He was the perfect combination of just power, strength, and speed, in like a hybrid type, running back, fullback position. And he was honestly one of a kind, and one of the best to do it. And yeah, it was incredible watching him rush the football. It was him and Mark Dunn back there. And then you had on the opposite side of the ball, like you had guys like John Lynch, who is the GM for the 49ers right now. He used to be the safety, and he used to hammer people. He was awesome. Um,
Derek Brooks, Warren
Derek
Sapp.
Brooks, yeah, all those guys.
But Mike
But
Allstott was just a player that for some reason, I just loved that guy, and he was one of my favorite players, non-Eagle, to watch. And four-time,
Mike, God,
go ahead, Mike, what?
well, Chris Berman used to call him Mike. You're in good hands with Allstott.
Four-time All-Pro, great player. If you're not familiar with Mike Allstott, go look up some of his highlights. They're a lot of fun to watch. It's just him bulldozing people, and like Timmy said, making a big hit, staying on his feet, keeping his balance, and breaking it for another 30 yards or for a touchdown or whatever it is. Just a
And
monster.
he had that giant like neck roll.
Yeah. Oh, dude, the neck roll is the best. I love that. And I thought it was the coolest thing ever. All right, Timmy, let's move on to our last topic of the night, the Ryder Cup. We're both big golf fans, and this week will be the Ryder Cup, the United States versus Europe over in Italy. I believe it tees off this Thursday. And a lot going on with this, with the Live Tour and certain golfers not in it, or that didn't get to play. Are you looking forward to the Ryder? It's one of my favorite tournaments every couple years that we get to watch. I'm always up for it. The U.S. kicked the shit out of Europe last time we played. I believe, was it in Chicago? I forget exactly where it was, but I remember we
Whistling Straits.
dominated.
Yeah.
And Do you expect that to happen this time? I'm starting to lean towards Europe. I feel like they might have our number. We're not going to have all the guys that we had last time, and I don't know. I just feel like maybe it's their time to make a run.
It's I don't know. So much has changed in the landscape of golf over the course of the last few years since the last Ryder Cup. Yeah, obviously with Live and everything else that has transpired. A lot of the young guns have come up and have started winning majors, like John Rahm and Scotty Scheffler, and uh, it, it is going to be tough to win on European soil. I don't think the U.S. have done it in quite some time. Uh, when they played in at Whistling Straits a few years back, I mean that place was rocking, dude. You will never see a golf tournament like that. For the crowds, the chants, it was bananas, and you'll probably see a little bit of that too over in Europe. I believe it's in Rome where they're having the tournament, but I would give the edge to the US just because their roster is just a little bit better. The bottom half of the roster, in my opinion, is better than what Europe's is. So I think, yeah, the firepower for Europe is probably a little bit more with Victor Hovland. You got John Rahm, Rory McIlroy, those three guys, and then you have, I think, Shane Lowry's up there, right? Is he playing?
I have to look at the full list of European players, but I'd imagine Lowry's playing.
Yeah, but
No,
it's
he's
just,
definitely playing. I saw his name the other day in like the press conferences and stuff.
yeah, it's going to be entertaining golf. I always like when this comes around. It's the team aspect, which you don't usually see, in golf, with now the exception of Live, which they have those team events. But yeah, this is more for pride, and the players bring the passion every single time they get on the course. And there's a lot of like really cool things that happen, and there's some shit talking that goes on between the players while they're putting, and like stuff that you don't normally see on golf courses, because it is more so like an individual game. Here you're playing for your country, for your pride, for your passion, and for that trophy. So it'll be fun to watch. I'm sure like the timing and the schedule is just going to be all wacky with being over in Europe, but it'll be a good time to catch some competitive golf over the course of the next week or so.
Yeah,
Get your
and
fill.
I can't wait to watch it. Like we said, it starts this Friday, and it's going to be at the Marco Simone Golf Club just outside of Rome. So it's going to be an incredible atmosphere. I always love the Ryder Cup. Can't wait to check it out. We'll certainly be covering it on next week's episode. And that's going to bring us to the end of this episode, Timmy. Another amazing episode of Schmidt Lavelle. As we said in the beginning, if you like what we're doing, please give us a follow, a share, subscribe, a like. Hit that like button wherever it is. We're pointing all over the screen right now. Maybe here, maybe there. Hit the like button. Hit the share button. Tell your friends. Tell your family. Tell whoever will listen that Schmidt Lavelle, the hottest new show in all of podcasts, is taking off. Timmy, is there anything you want to say to the Schmidt and Lavellites before we sign off? You got two weddings this weekend. Anything else going on? I mean, what else can you do? That's a lot of money you're going to be spending. That's two gifts, huh?
I think it is. It is.
That's a big and tall
I've already spent it.
ask.
I already spent a ton of money on it. As you go up in size, the articles of clothing cost more too.
More fabric.
uh, but Tom, what would the world be without Captain James Hook?
What would the world be without Captain James Hook? And what would the world be without Schmidt and Lavelle? Who knows? Another great episode. Timmy, my wife's going away this weekend. It's going to be me and the kids.
Party!
Oh, party, yeah. It's going to be
As Travis Kelce would say, you got the right
to party.
The fight. No, how's it go?
I don't know. Fuck him. Fuck the Swifties. Fuck all that bullshit. We love you. I didn't mean it. Till next week, my name's Tom Lavelle. For Timothy Schmidt, have a great weekend. Till next time.
Mm-hmm.